Makingascene.org brings you Your Fans Are Not Portable just because your songs are. Welcome to The Explainer. So our goal today is actually pretty clear and honestly a bit urgent. We're talking about empowering independent artists to stop chasing those fleeting vanity metrics and start, actually owning their data. Because this isn't just about preserving your MP3s or WAV files. We're talking about literally bulletproofing your entire business.
Okay, let's dive into this agenda. We're going to take you from a recent industry cautionary tale straight into a totally concrete survival playbook for your music business. We'll hit on the Nina Protocol acquisition, the illusion of ownership, 5 types of portability, why platforms are rented stages, your portability survival kit, and finally, owning your fan relationship.
Starting off with Section 1, the Nina Protocol acquisition. Let's look at the recent news hook from Makingascene.org that really grounds our discussion in reality. Let's trace this timeline, right? So Nina Protocol launched back in 2021. It was this idealistic Web3 music platform, totally built around direct artist-to-fan sales and real community context. And look, they had incredibly great intentions, super artist-friendly payouts, and a highly respected community. But fast forward to May 2026, and, well, they announced a wind down. Basically, they just couldn't find a sustainable revenue model. By July 2026, SoundCloud steps in and acquires the remaining assets, offering this optional migration process for the artists. The big takeaway here? Even the greatest, most artist-first platforms can straight up run out of money to pay the server bills. And that raises a massive, really uncomfortable question for you as an indie musician. When your platform disappears, what exactly can you take with you?
Moving on to Section 2, the illusion of ownership. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it pivots from that news story to a bigger truth. Moving your music files, that's actually pretty easy, but moving a whole business relationship, that is incredibly difficult.
I really want to speak directly to you as an artist here. The modern music business completely trains you to obsess over massive numbers. But look at those 10,000 anonymous followers on the left. They're completely trapped behind a black box algorithm. You don't actually own that connection. The platform does. Now look on the right. You have 150 known supporters. These are real people who bought your records, who snagged a ticket, who actually handed over their email address. That smaller, dedicated group, they can carry a career and fund a tour even when the algorithm randomly wanders off to chase a dancing raccoon video. Which brings us to this absolutely undeniable truth. A follower is not a file. When a shutting down platform promises that your followers can be quote-unquote migrated to a new home, you really have to ask what that actually means. Because a lot of times, a migration totally leaves behind contact permissions, your direct messaging context, and super crucial purchase histories. You might just get a shiny new follower number on a new profile, but absolutely no way to actually talk to those people. No way at all.
All right, Section 3, 5 types of portability. Because Makingascene.org brilliantly breaks down portability into several distinct forms, proving that a simple little export button is just not going to cut it.
Let's walk through this matrix together. So content portability is the easy stuff, right? That's just moving your WAV files and your artwork. Audience portability recreates your follower account somewhere else. Data portability gives you a spreadsheet of names and locations. But look closely at the bottom two, permission and relationship. Permission means you have documented legal consent to actually email them or text them. And relationship portability, that means you have the context to know if they bought a vinyl or maybe attended your show last year. So while moving files protects the work, it's that permission and relationship portability that actually protects your business from a total platform collapse. Section 4, platforms are rented stages. So the crucial point is how we shift our mindset on how we view the platforms we completely rely on every day. Makingascene.org uses this absolutely brilliant metaphor. Platforms are rented stages. And it's so true. You should definitely go out there and perform on these stages, whether that's Spotify, TikTok, Bandcamp, or SoundCloud. You use them for discovery, you use them for reach. But you should never, ever store your original masters, your mailing lists, and your entire customer history underneath a stage that you do not own. Because guess what? The rent might go up, or the landlord might suddenly decide to turn the venue into a pickleball court. And we really have to address the whole Web3 myth here, using the Nina Protocol shutdown as undeniable proof. Ownership technology, like having a blockchain asset or a smart contract, that doesn't automatically create fan demand or a sustainable company. A permanent file on a blockchain absolutely does not equal a permanent business. Web3 is a highly useful tool for tracking data, sure, but value? Value always comes from the human relationship, not just the tech. Moving right along to Section 5, the Portability Survival Kit. let's move to and see how this builds into an actionable playbook that every independent musician literally must build right now. Think of this as your literal must-have archive checklist. Of course, you need your high-res master waves and artwork. You need your songwriting splits, publishing info, your ISRC codes. You need every single royalty statement and contract downloaded. But look down at those last two bullet points: permission-based email contacts and purchase histories. Fan information is hands down the most overlooked part of this kit. Preserving the context of those fan relationships is exactly what turns a random digital pile of music files into a true bulletproof business survival system. And that brings us to metadata. Now, I know the word metadata sounds incredibly boring. It sounds like a persistent paper jam warning on an office printer from 2009. But listen, metadata is literally the passport for your music. It's the titles, the writers, the licensing details. Maintaining a master catalog record of all this outside of your distributor is totally vital. Clean metadata is exactly how your music gets discovered by AI search systems, gets properly credited, and most importantly, gets paid. And finally, Section 6, owning your fan relationship. Let's transition into how to actually hold your entire revenue stack together using artist-owned communication.
The actual flow of a sustainable music career looks exactly like these 3 steps. Step 1, you use the rented stages. So the social media apps, the streaming giants, you use them to get discovered. But step 2, you immediately transition those fans into communication systems you actually own, like an email list. And then, step 3, track the history of that relationship using a CRM, or tools like the Fan Passport system, currently being designed by makingascene.org. This strategy takes scattered, meaningless digital clicks and turns them into a real, meaningful relationship history.
But hey, a massive warning here. Collecting data brings immense responsibility. An exported email without explicit permission, that is just a future spam complaint waiting to happen. If a platform lets you magically export a spreadsheet of users, you absolutely must know what those fans actually consented to. You have to respect privacy rules. You're trying to build a community of supporters here, not act like some digital door-to-door salesperson with really bad lighting. So before you get completely blinded by a new platform's shiny features or their graphs that just keep going up and to the right, check for the exit door before you join. I highly advise artists to conduct a portability checkup several times a year. You've got to read the terms, find out what formats your data actually exports in, and guarantee that you can extract your music, your metadata, and your fan data if that company suddenly goes under tomorrow. So I'm going to leave you with this really provocative final thought to reflect on today. What happens to your business if your primary platform disappears tomorrow? Do you have an archive, or do you just have an empty rented stage? Take action before the next shutdown notice appears. Make sure you check out the other great articles and resources on makingascene.org, the place the indie artist goes to build the new music industry.